Ah.
Hello and welcome to Game of Stools, presented by My Mom's Basement and Barstool Sports. 1 year, 7 months, and 23 days after recapping the season 1 finale of House of the Dragon, where Luke got chewed up and spit out by Vagar, Aemond shot up the psychopath rankings, we have risen from the dead like Jon Snow. Who is we? I'm glad you asked. I am Sir Octagon of House Fox, keeper of the basement. With me is Clem the Great from North of the Wall, Sir Clancy of House Misery, leader of the Disturbed, and of course, Nicholas of the Hamilton family, protector of production and head graphic smith. Fellas, it's good to be back.
Let's go.
We are back. We are back. I'm costumeless today because I went to my Amazon to see when they were getting delivered, and all my costumes were sitting in the cart, and I didn't press buy. But I got a whole boatload coming, baby. So we're gonna buckle up this year. You better bring the heat, Clem. What is that? A paper plate turned into a rat?
Yes, it is. It is a rat. It's the last minute rat. Is it good to be back? Because I feel pretty fucking awful right now. Dude. And I had in my notes.
Let me tell you why it's good. Dude, I just to go back to the first season real quick before we dive into the beginnings of this, I don't know whether it was like the Game of Thrones hangover or comparing too much or watching week to week was different or whatever the reason was. When we watched it the first time, I was like, this is pretty good. When I watched season 1 on my rewatch, fucking incredible. Like,
it's unbelievable.
Right up there with seasons 1 through 4 of Game of Thrones. So dense, so many different characters, but they keep it moving and everybody matters. There is not a wasted scene, minute, dialogue, nothing. I mean, it is fucking awesome. I really would put it up there with the original Thrones at its peak. So no matter how awful this gets, we'll talk about everything. It's still good to be back because I don't know. People forgot how good this fucking book and this can be when it's done well. So we are back, baby.
Kevin, they killed the fucking baby. All right, I'm not just gonna let it. On Father's Day, no less. They killed the fucking baby. I'm being it. It said it in the fucking closed captions, like knife blade, chopping bone and flesh.
Yeah. Sounded like cutting a watermelon.
Yeah, it was squelching. It was squelching. It was slicing and bone. Oh.
We need a squelching count on the season. Like the amount of times that pops up in the text, like every time it pops up, it's like, get out of here. Stop that.
Yeah, but listen, what was worse? The failed C-section in season 1, episode 1, where there's dead babies right off the rip, both seasons.
Well, that's the thing. It's 1 year, 7 months. You forget a lot. I forgot character names. I was like, oh, I'm probably going to forget a storyline here or there. I forgot it's the dead baby show. I forgot that every week we came on here and we were like, oh, they fucking killed another baby. Can you believe it? It's tough. It was a tough realization to come back to at the end of that episode to be like, oh yeah, we do the dead baby show on Sunday night.
It's like the incest, the regular murder, the torture, all of it takes a backseat to baby murder.
Yeah. And worse, they kicked a dog.
Oh,
that was
you know what? I don't like the dog kicking, but I could have. I said that I don't like this dog's chances. As soon as he got on the screen, I was like, "This dog is fucked." And I thought he would be straight up dead. So I'll settle for the kick, to be honest.
When he walked by in the beginning, I was like, "That was weird. What was that dog doing there?" Like, guys, we've never.
I was like, a dragon's gonna eat this, or someone's gonna chop its head off. So a little kick is the best case scenario.
That was when I knew like everything was going to shit with these guys. Obviously, it was going to regardless. But then it was like, oh, but we're gonna be happy it goes to shit. Like.
Yeah,
not great.
And before we get into the intricacies of the episode, just the overall thoughts, we're happy with the premiere, right? I'm at least happy coming out of this. It feels like we're back. It's like, oh shit. It wasn't, they didn't kick the door down and give us a crazy battle action scene, but Thrones doesn't really do that a lot in the premieres, at least from what I remember. It's a lot of, all right, let's set the table for the whole season.
I don't like the big battle scenes anyway. I mean, I like them; they're cool. But to me, I much rather prefer like the
politics
and all that stuff. So, I thought it came in hot, and I mean, it's funny. Like, what are you gonna do when you have a year and a half in between shows, and Homeboy grows up like so fast? In the beginning scene, I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" I was like, "Oh yeah, they don't have a choice. They gotta play this guy, and he just looks totally different now." But to start out in north of the wall, up north is like giving me the old feelings, showing the wall, everybody all bundled up. And then, they made some major moves right away. Like, this is a premiere. This is not like a premiere that's like, oh, we just kind of like eased back in. They made a major move that really, I think, sparks things in a weird way. We'll talk about it much more, but like, I think the end of that means everything in this series, in this season.
Yeah, if you're not watching on YouTube, the rat catcher mask just came undone. Popped right off Clem's head. It was nice while it lasted, but yeah, I don't know if that thing was going to last the entire episode. By the way, if you're not watching on YouTube, if you're listening on the Game of Stools feed, we're going to have Game of Stools here, but then go over to the My Mom's Basement feed for the rest of the episodes. We're going to kind of transition it. If you're watching on the My Mom's Basement channels, thank you for being here. And I do feel like this is, especially going forward, it's a good show to watch, not only listen to, because Clem brings it with the costumes. We were a couple of minutes late today, and I said I'm picturing like a Batman-esque, like he's putting on the belt.
The glasses over it. Is that a Clem original or a Mrs. Clem original?
This is all Mrs. Clem does all this stuff.
That's a cheat code, man. She's always making you some cool shit. I need to get like a arts and crafts thing going over here.
I married Miss Lippy, basically. Yeah, exactly. Nice. She's like, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make a little rat for you right now. I'm like, that's why I married you, honey. Fuck.
So let's get into the episode. We got a new intro. They actually changed things up. I feel like when we recapped the first episode of House of the Dragon, we were like, oh, okay, so we're just doing the Game of Thrones intro. Like, they're not only taking the song, but kind of taking the actual animation, too. Very similar. This time they changed it up. It looked a little White Lotus-y almost with the threads and the blood, but I liked it. It actually felt different to me.
I'll be honest, I pressed skip intro, so I didn't realize they did a new one.
No.
Come on.
Episode 1, you said?
I've been binging, so like, it just came up, and I was like, I've seen this a million times.
Yeah,
I didn't think they would change it.
One, it's like saying, I didn't watch the national anthem before the Super Bowl. Like, what are we talking about?
You're right.
One, you gotta watch it just once. Skip 2 through 8, but episode 1, you gotta watch it.
Yeah, it always gets me into the mood once it starts going. And I'm very glad, like, I ran out of time to redo our intro, and I was just going to copy season 1. I would have had to just do it all again.
Oh my God.
Like, with all the threads coming out.
Dude, it's okay. This fucking intro is fire. You don't have to remake a whole new one.
Oh, no, I want you to stitch it and do it stop motion this time. I want you to take it.
This fucking series is so good. Watching a tapestry be built gets me fucking off. That's how good it is, man. They're making a tapestry. And God bless all the YouTubers who are doing the Easter eggs and telling me exactly what the tapestry means, because it's fucking all in Chinese in my mind. I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at.
And there's a lot of blood going through the tapestry. I thought it would be funny if 1 week there's like a character that's a total coward. Instead of red, they just have a little yellow red.
Little piss boy?
That'd be great.
We do start in Winterfell, though. The Raven flies into Winterfell. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Maybe it's been too long. When you get the narration of, like, my ancestor, Torrhen Stark, I was like, oh, my God, are they doing, like, the Many Saints of Newark thing? Is this Jon Snow talking to us from the grave or something? Did anyone else think that, or am I the only idiot on the show?
I didn't go there.
Yeah,
I was confused. I didn't know what was happening, but I didn't go there.
It's been a long time since I've heard Kit Harington's voice. He hasn't gotten a lot of work since Thrones.
No, I remember them bringing up Torrhen in the last season. That's the only reason I remembered once his name popped up. Otherwise, I was shocked at how young he was. I thought it was like some old dude, because they had an old guy show up in the first season when, like, the king's meeting with everyone. And so I assumed it was him, but this young kid is as old as Jaehaerys, I think, is our guy.
Yes,
Jaehaerys
and he looks
Velaryon?
like Timothy Chalamet now.
Yes. Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
yeah.
I was shocked how young he is, and like that makes me think these guys are going to buddy up and like really go to war together. That's what I'm hoping for.
And I like him. He has that good line when they're talking about the wall. He's like, "What is the wall built for? What does it keep out?" And he's like, "Death." Just immediately, it's like, "Fuck yeah!" You could have almost They don't do the cold opens with Game of Thrones, I guess, but it almost could have been a cold open where you hit the fucking theme right there, Breaking Bad style.
Yeah, what did he say? He's like, "You think we built a 700-foot wall for wildings and whatever? Death, bro."
Yeah.
Just seeing the castle of Winterfell, the song of Winterfell, and then the accent, like the northern accent, it fucking made it move. I was getting flashbacks, like waving the batters for the Starks back in the day. And he got the fucking is that ice he has in his back?
Yeah, that was ice.
Yeah,
I did the Leo meme, the point at screen. I'm like, that's ice, and my girlfriend's like, the hell are you talking about, dude?
Oh man, I hope we get to see ice in action. That was the one thing we really missed out on, other than like a beheading or two.
Yeah.
I like this Stark too, but when the Targaryens come to him and they're like, "We need your help in this war. Obviously, we're at war for the throne." He offers him the senior tour. I thought that was a crazy move. He's like, "I'll give you the old guys that are about to
the
die.
gray beards.
That's as much as I can give you." Almost like Pawn Star style. That's all I got.
and like Pawn Stars, they're like, all right, we'll take it. Whatever.
We'll take what we can get. Yeah.
Hey, for us here north of the wall, let me just tell you, there's fucking death on the other side. We're keeping the whole realm fucking breathing. You go back to season 8 if you want to rewatch that nonsense. That's some bad mamma jammas coming down.
Yeah. Is my audio fucked? Some people in the chat are saying my audio is fucked. Do I sound weird?
It's popped in and out a few times.
I don't know if it's you or someone else.
All right.
One thing that
live show. We're doing it live.
One thing that I did notice in this scene that just made me hate the later seasons of Thrones more. They said that dragons don't go north of the wall, which has been a big thing. Like even in the early seasons of Thrones, they mentioned like magical things have trouble passing through the wall, but like all of Daenerys' dragons flew right fucking over there. Like we saw all of them. We lost one over there, and but when I think he said it might have been Vhagar, like was like, no, I ain't going there. And this feels like George being like, remind them it's going to be different when my books come out.
I will say though that the White Walker dragon was one of the coolest things.
Oh, it was awesome.
Ever. So, if they broke the rules for that one, I'm okay with that. I was watching a HBO Extra on season 1 where the showrunner Ryan, I think it's Condal, was like, I was really influenced by George's writing. And I was like, you fucking better be, man. He said it like it was some, I'm doing it differently. It's like, thank you. Let's stick with the guy who knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, if you're inspired by Quentin Tarantino, that's one thing. But if you're doing George R. R. Martin's fucking story, you better be inspired by it. Jesus Christ.
Daemon, obviously, right after the news of Luke's death hits and it's being delivered via Raven to everyone, he's like, let's fucking go to King's Landing right now. Don't get off your dragon. Stay on the saddle. Let's go. And Rhaenys is like, you got to chill out. She explains her side like she was last season. She's like, it's not really my war to fight here. He's mad at her. He's like, you could have had the chance in the first place. She tries to explain the grief that Rhaenyra is going through, finding out her son is dead via Raven. It's hard. Maybe it's just the bro in me, but when Daemon is like, we're going to war, it's like, I know you're making good points. I don't want to hear it right now. We're going to war.
Yeah.
Dude, Rhaenys, that excuse, it's not my war to start. Fuck off. You could have just fucking waxed these people and just been done with this whole thing. It's one thing if you don't want to start the war and then you're going to play like Switzerland or whatever, but like if you're gonna be in the war like 2 seconds later, you should have just fucking iced those guys or flamed those guys in this case and said see you later. That drives me absolutely crazy. I get what she's saying, but it's like we could have just been done with this whole thing.
Yeah.
But
That's
Rhaenys
Daemon's point to everyone this episode too. He walks up to everyone. He's like, "You fucking had a moment where you were behind a Queen King too. You could have got him. You could have got him. You could have got him."
Mm-hmm. Rhaenys is she's one bad mamma jamma, but like. That always drove me so far. If you're gonna break through the dragon pit, wipe out a whole bunch of civilians, be honest.
Yeah.
And then you have the chance to at least get rid of, a couple of the bad guys here. You got to take that chance. So Daemon is I'm almost like I was on Daemon's side there. Have you noticed that Daemon has like different voices? I feel like when he's like he's got like that that accent really hits when he's being like kind of bad Daemon and petty Daemon and wants to
it gets cunty.
Right. Yeah, he's got a cunty little accent. Yeah.
He serves cunt every now and then.
If Rhaenyra had fucking Sir Memphis Bleak as her fucking hand of the queen or whatever, mind right, money right, ready for war. That dude would have been lighting King's Landing on fire the minute her fucking son got chopped up. A goddamn disgrace, all of them, except for our boy Daemon, who again, me and Nick are riding for Daemon. I'm fully aware he's gonna fuck us over at some point because he's known to do that from time to time.
I've already like got my spin zones ready for today. Don't worry.
Dude, again, on the rewatch season 1, like I was talking to Bob a couple weeks ago before I started watching, and I was like, I can't remember. Remind me what's going on with Green and Black. And I was like, man, if you're Team Green, you're fucking crazy. And then I start watching season 1, I'm like, wait a minute, Team Black is a bunch of piece of shits too. What's going on? And then ultimately, yeah, I get why. It's like Team Green is kind of more, they're not very likable in the way they do it. But Daemon and some of the things that go on with Team Black is just as fucking shitty. It's very, in a weird way, it's Succession-esque, where I think everybody's a piece of shit. Everybody's got something that they're doing that they're complete assholes. This is just the version from, medieval Succession, if you will.
Yeah, and I picked Damon first, so I'm just gonna ride with that until the very end until the wheels fall off. He cut that guy's head in half. That was cool. Like we're just gonna keep pushing.
It's a weird show where we watch this guy because he thought his wife was ugly. By the way, she's a beautiful looking girl. She's like very pretty girl.
Yeah.
Paralyze her, smash her head in with a rock, and we're all still like, hey, what's Damon doing? He's a pretty cool guy.
We don't know what their marriage was like. If she might have been mean to him.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to the small council in the chat. They're chiming in. Peter says, can Clem see okay? I'll answer for him. No. They're also telling us it's Rhaenyra. This is one thing.
Oh, come on.
We're going to take a couple episodes to get the pronunciation back. It's going to get it's like riding a bike. We'll get back into it.
One of my favorite things from the High Council in the early part of it, somebody thought that this episode was slow, and then the next comment was just, dude, they killed a fucking baby. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what else.
And like, as so far, if anyone says they don't like the episode, that's the response. Just, they killed a fucking baby. Like,
they did.
There's nothing not to like about this one. There wasn't a single moment where I was like, oh, okay, like, this is slow, or this was not necessary. What's that?
We saw your boy, Lord Corlys Valerian, as well. He's getting his ship back out to sea. And also, he thanks this guy, Alan, who saved his life. One of those names that sounds a little funny in the Game of Thrones universe. And they spell it, Thronesy. They throw a Y in there and shit. But when he's like, thanks, Alan, it's like,
A-L-Y-N is Thrones. A-L-A-N is like your neighbor in the suburbs who is like mowing. Hey, Alan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, Alan?
Thanks for saving my life, Alan.
That was a little weird, though. He was like, that exchange was a little bizarre. I know if you watch the preview for the season, he was in it strangling some fucking guy with the dreads. I don't know. Nick, do you know who that guy is?
Not that I'm aware of. Like, I haven't heard of him yet. So
we'll see what
curious
happens.
To see, yeah.
I have to admit, seeing my boy Corlys, that basically just telling us he's getting washed up, and it hurts. That's like seeing Patrick Ewing with a Magic jersey on. Like, I don't want to see Corlys. And like, again, if maybe this happens when they're all a little bit younger, I don't know names very well. Everyone with really white hair, Rhaenys and her, like their whole family. If they were younger, maybe there's a chance they win this war. I just don't feel good about Team Black after tonight. I feel like things are going to go against us. And our boy Corlys is just hobbling out there. His ship looks like shit. It's not good.
Yeah. Reminiscent of Viserys just slowly melting away season 1. You guys remember how much fun it was to be like, episode 7, he's still here.
That was awesome.
He's still going. He's still alive.
Just always thinking he was going to die. Like, I wish we could have put a line on it. That was unbelievable.
We were betting what body parts he was going to lose next episode.
Yeah.
My nanny was like that. God bless her. We thought she was going to die 5 times. When we were ready, it was like, hey, she's gone today. And it was like we all got prepared, and she just pulled through every single time. It was outrageous.
Feidelberg's grandfather did that for like 6 months this year. He's gone now, rest in peace. But they planned the funeral and everything like
they do that sometimes. Yeah, it's almost like one last practical joke, and it's nice. Aegon, he's looking for his son, and he's talking to his fucking creepy sister, wife, whatever. And she says, I'm not afraid of the dragons. I'm afraid of the rats. And we know that this has to mean something crazy because she's right about all of her Nostradamus-esque predictions. I also forgot how creepy and perverted this whole situation is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that they were married. I also, when she first started talking, I don't know if it was just me. They didn't show subtitles when she's muttering under her breath, and I was like, you need to show subtitles with this girl. Everything she says is
always
some
mumbling.
fucking riddle. Like, just let me know what she's saying so I know what to look out for.
Yeah, she's Brandon and her would be a great couple.
Oh my
They'd be
God.
unbelievable together. But that was another thing, I missed in season 1, that it was few and far between, and she is always muttering, and it feels like she's almost like on the spectrum in ways. But whatever, everything she said came to be green versus blacks.
The dragon in the basement or something?
And there's a dragon beneath the pit.
Beast
So
beneath the
obviously
boards,
talking about the rats.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like literally the rats, the plague. I didn't know what it was going to be, but it's like, yo, but you let it happen. You had you know what I mean? So what good are your prophecies if you fucking let your babies get snatched?
Yeah,
She's almost their versions of Rhaenys. See, council, I'm learning. I got that one right. Whereas she's staying out of the war. She'll give her opinions here or there, but she's like, I don't know. I'm staying out of it.
It's tough when you're a clairvoyant soothsayer, though. It's like,
But does she even realize that she is? Do you think? Like,
What's
do you
that?
think she's saying that stuff and then she knows like this is a prediction that's going to come true, or she's just
No.
so spacey that she's
Yeah, she's just kind of.
she probably doesn't know.
She's Rain Man. She's like, yeah, definitely
Right.
35 toothpicks on the floor. Like, she doesn't know what she's saying. She's just saying it. That makes that last scene even more disturbing. She chose her son. I was like, wait, is this
That
the
was
mom?
crazy.
But it's the sister, and I know they're the Targaryens. Now that
mom's
this has
sister.
been confirmed, fuck me. I mean, it's like, it's fucked up if you point out your nephew. Don't get me wrong. Pointing out your son is like an extra level of fucked up.
Bro, like a literal Sophie's Choice where she's just like,
yeah.
which one am I going to pick to die? I'm the whole time I'm thinking she's going to just like at least try to fight them or grab something from the fireplace. And she just like,
Kev, you know this. We love our kids the same. But you do like one more or less at any given time, whether they're just bothering you, they're loud, and it's like, which
Where's
one was
this
always was not letting me sleep late? That one. That's the one right there. That kid doesn't eat his veggies, and he gives me shit every single time we go out.
Back it up like one scene before. It's funny that he's in season 1. He's so depraved, Aegon, with the fucking kids and the teeth and the nails, and he's just like truly up there in certain ways with like Ramsay and Joffrey and like the real bad motherfuckers. This episode, I was kind of laughing at him when Lena is like talking her shit, and he's like, "Where is he? Like, just shut the fuck up. Where's the baby?
Yeah.
Enough with the fucking prophecies. Where's the baby?" I couldn't believe
He had
it.
a few lines that made me laugh.
I'm like chuckling
Yeah.
every time he opens his mouth.
Yeah, he
Put his
just wants
brother in the council, wants to hang with his boys by the throne, talk shit. He's kind of
getting drunk on the throne was awesome. Like that is just, it's like, yeah, you want to be hanging out with that guy all the time.
That felt a little Succession-y as well.
Yeah.
Like just almost like Kieran Culkin's character. Just like hanging out on the throne. Like, hey, I'm in the big time.
Confession right now. You guys talking this through? Like, he's kind of the people's king. He's kind of like that dude, right? It's like he just like, hey guys, and it's like he's not just talking to his boys. It's like he just maybe takes someone he sees at a tavern and be like, yo, come up to the throne tonight. We're just gonna call me Aegon the Dragon Cock, and we're gonna have. I'm starting to understand. I'm not saying I am Team Green, but I'm starting to understand why Team Green exists. Listen, Kev, Team Black is wearing tonight. No way around it. We have to wear it at the end of this episode.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough scene.
The small council in the chat wants to know if Aegon's actually going to the bus and beer games. He may be after this.
I heard he confirmed. We'll see. Give it a.
He has another commitment. He might be. Well, it's an
There's like 7
situation.
Aegon Targaryens at any given point. It may not be the king. It might be another Aegon Targaryen going.
He actually started his own ale games that he's going to be hosting.
Jump cut to Kristen Cole eating Allison's puss. They likely spend the next hour getting redressed. They show us the tail end of it, but you could tell she's handing him pieces of chainmail. He's handing her pieces of fabric that they got to tie on. She pretty much says, like, we can't do this again. We can't do this anymore. Kristen Cole, he's been fucking snip, snap, snip, snap. He doesn't know what to do with the queens. And they head to the small council. We actually see some rats. And this was another Aegon line that I absolutely loved this episode when They're like, hey, we haven't heard back from the North or the Vale yet. He just sits there and goes, cunts.
Yeah.
Hysterical. I was like, all right, that's funny. And they have the support of the Baratheons. He's kind of more focused on his kid than the meeting. It was like, bring your kid to work day for him. They scold Thailand. And again, he just wants his small council to be his boys. His brother walks in. The mother's like, what's your brother doing here? He can't be there. He's like, nah, he can't. I'm the king. He's my brother. He's my fucking guy. He fights for me. Come on.
That was some boar on the floor shit. Like, get down. You're gonna be a little horsey. I thought that guy was gonna have to do it. I was like, hey, let me see this guy be a fucking horse here.
That's a Lannister, right? I would love to see that, like knowing
Highland
how
Lannister,
how proud they are later on. It's like, yeah, but your great grandpa got rode like a horse.
Yeah, you thought you were tough shit.
That was me and KFC were in a Comedy Central commercial back in the day where him, Dave, and Big Cat rode me, Clem, and Glenny Balls as horses.
I remember faking. We had to fake the gallop, you know. So we were like on top, kind of like this.
And I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't know who put this together in terms of the order. Big Cat was on me.
I know, it was nuts.
That was fucked up.
Crazy.
That wasn't right.
That was and you were even, you know, you were real skinny back then. You were like, that was, you know, you were fresh.
Could have killed me.
Me and Glenny are two stallions, and we're getting ridden by KFC and Dave.
Yeah,
that was
fucked up. The GIF is still out there somewhere. Also, Aemond smiling in this scene when Alicent mentions like the death of Luke, and he just like she looks over at him and he just gives her a smirk like, yeah, I did that shit.
Yeah, I did that.
Fucked up. And it was also pretty cool when he came back into King's Landing a little earlier than this on the dragon, and you saw everyone prepare with the fucking oh shit, a dragon, and then they're like, false alarm, it's Vhagar. It's almost Wayne's World desk. Game on.
I remember the scorpion from the end of the episodes we shall not speak of. Was that a book thing though? The scorpion, because the big gigantic crossbow. Because I remember when they
talk about it later
on the show, it was like pretty cool. But I was like, was that because they said like dragons cannot be stopped by like anything, and then they were like, we actually have this gigantic fucking bow and arrow that kind of works pretty well. So I wasn't sure if that was made up or not.
I think in the show they had said like we found old like records of it because people had like hidden it. But I don't know if it's in the books or not.
I feel like it has to
be. The chat is saying
back
it
to
is.
it here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The chat's saying scorpions are totally a book thing. Also,
Yeah,
great name.
so wait,
One of those great names. The
I'm trying to
fucking
think, do they
scorpion.
show
I
it?
love that.
Did they show Aegon when he like first came back? Because like he was smiling and he was like, "Yeah, I did that shit." Maybe at this
They
point,
show him flying in, but they don't show like
when he's in the air, like and he you know he was trying to call off Vhagar, and when it happens at first, he's like, "Oh fuck, I did not mean to do that." But now he's kind of like, "Yeah, I did that shit." So I don't know if that's just because a little bit of time has passed and it's like, whatever, war is war, here we go. But I thought it was going to be more of like I wasn't trying to do that sort of thing, but like too late to go back on it now.
yeah.
But
I think
he's all
just
about
owning it now. Yeah.
He didn't no
Laris.
video games for a whole week. You know, it's kind of like with Terrius Milton or whatever his name. No video games for a whole week, and he like remembered that his eye was missing. He's like, "Fuck my cousin."
Whatever. Yeah.
Also, Laris, the resident pervert, loves the feet. This guy, he just walks up to the queen, Alicent, and he kind of just like slips her like, "Ooh, I tried to visit you before, but I heard you were having sex. I know you had sex today. How about that?" And he's like, "I got rid of all the rats. And I've chosen your whole new staff personally." But then when she goes to take a bath with, I guess, the new staff or some of the new staff, she sends him away. She just wants alone time. To which I ask you guys, if you're the king or the queen of this realm, how much alone time do you get? I bet it's not a lot.
Probably little to none.
She had
Almost
four,
only at
four
night?
maids working on her just to take a bath. I don't think
Yeah, and she
ever
was
alone.
very chill out. I don't need this.
I'll tell you what though, you know when apparently you're alone? When two guys break in to kill your fucking baby. There was not a guard in sight. I mean, it's probably because that little piece of shit, little bitch, Sir Kristen Cole was getting his dick ridden, but not a guard to be seen anywhere the fuck else. I was like, what? What is this? There's, like you said, somebody's with you at all times. Apparently not now.
Kristen Cole is such a fucking cunt. I hate that cunt so fucking much. Fuck that cunt and his stupid cunty face and his little cunty. I hate him.
We just got demonetized on across all platforms.
Dude,
It was worth it though. It was worth it for that rant. He deserves it.
Cut. 3 more for demonic.
In the hierarchy of villains, like he's not like chopping dicks off and flaying people and stuff like that. But he's just so smarmy and fucking. It's like, get over it, dude. Like 30 years ago, your little teenage girlfriend chose somebody else. Like, shut up. He's on this whole fucking psychopath lifestyle, all because of Rhaenyra like a billion years ago. Get over it, you fucking loser.
I also I don't think it's an accident that they always show him. They never show him. He's not on top. He's always going down on her. He's always a submissive, like little. He's a pussy about all this.
Episode 5, he's gonna be getting pegged. Demonetize me. This cunt's gonna get pegged.
And he looks like the fucking cover of a romance novel, and he's walking around. But the one woman I like doesn't like me. Shut up, dude. Go to a brothel like a normal dude in the realm.
The way that she was like palming the back of his head when. She was just like, get under that dress, you little bitch. Let's go.
I'm surprised he didn't suffocate. It was crazy.
Oh, man. In the small council, Vito Lagazzo just said Kristen Cole was the Stephen Shea of his time. That's a tough break for Stephen Shea. Stephen Shea does he likes to go downtown more than Steph Curry. So I understand that's
Cole was eating it like steak. Jesus Christ.
And sad news, we're talking very funny stuff right now, but some dragon wings wash up on the shore, and the saddest scene of the episode, I would say, maybe one of the saddest scenes, is when Rhaenyra just finds it and kind of accepts the death. She weeps for a while. The people on the beach just kind of watch the queen weep there. There's a scene later on that might be sadder, but obviously this one is well played. And then Aegon the Magnanimous, that is his new name, makes his entrance to the whole room, the big room, the fucking throne room. And magnanimous, I looked it up because they said, who knows what magnanimous means? I'll give you the definition so everyone here knows what it means. Generous or forgiving, especially toward a rival or less powerful person.
Oh, I
when you're the king, I don't think you want that, though. You don't want generous. And it plays out in this scene where he literally is kind of generous. Like someone comes up and is like, hey, you took my sheep. Can I have him back? He's like, yeah, totally. And Otto's like, dude, you can't do that. Like, what are you doing? He had another funny line in that too, where he's like, "Who's gonna find out?"
Yeah,
like, you're the king.
Am I the only one?
Everyone.
I'm confused by this Aegon. Like, maybe I just misread him, but like the first season is like he's literally throwing kids to the wolves, and I know he was like, I don't really want to be king, but it was more like it wasn't like I'm like this laid back guy who just doesn't know how it works. It was, I don't know, the fact that he was like,
he liked it when he was up there. The coronation, you saw the smile.
That was when he
then,
flipped.
like Rhaenys maybe scared him. Maybe scared the life out of him. Where he's like, my life, I can end like that.
That's true. Then the whole petition thing, he was being magnanimous. He was being friendly, and the fact that the hand of the king, Otto, had to be like stop it, like toughen up to a guy who I thought was supposed to be this like psychopath killer. Like, oh, I don't know, maybe I just don't know. Maybe there's more to Aegon than I realized.
He stinks as a king. He's the people's king, but he stinks as an actual king when it comes to like the bottom line, as his fucking hand had to tell him. God, I really hate doing this. I'm just prepping you guys for this. We're gonna fall in love with Aegon in the next episode or two. I'm not a book reader. I don't know anything happens. I'm just guessing the fact that Team Green exists, and I guarantee he's not gonna be pussyfooting around looking for like every clue about his dead kid. He's gonna be like, we gotta match fire with fire. Let's go fuck some shit up. While Rhaenyra is out crying, looking at dragon wings. I'm sorry for the loss he was gone, but what the fuck was that entire fucking Team Black doing?
You didn't sound sorry for that loss.
I'm not sorry. I was being.
You're right. You caught me.
Yeah, I do feel like the people are gonna fall in love with him, but like while they're all loving him, it's like the common folk, especially after this. It's pretty hard to be like, yeah, we're gonna team up with the kid killers. But I guess he killed the kid too, or his brother did.
Yeah, listen,
it's hard to keep track. But if they do end up loving him, the whole time he's going to be bankrupting the whole fucking kingdom. Yeah. Because he's just giving away everything so people like him.
That one guy who's like, my sheep are gone, and he's like, you can have them, Go back and watch that guy's reaction. He's like,
Yeah.
for real? It was almost like he was like, let me get out of here before he changes his mind. And then he did change his mind.
And he has a great devastated reaction when they're like, no. He's like, what? Oh, no, I had it, though. He
No
told me.
vaccines.
Like,
You
did you
said-
hear
you
him?
said
Like, yeah. Someone in the chat with an American flag picture just wrote Aegon the Lib.
I'm telling you guys, Otto's gonna be like, patience. He's gonna be like, fuck you, Grandpa, and he's gonna and we're all. I'm paving the ways for like at least understanding Team Green. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
he's gonna
I
do some
really,
cool shit.
I mean, that's why I think the show is awesome. Like everybody sucks, and at every turn you're like, I like that guy. Well, he did that, and she's cool, but she fucked up there, and like, yeah, I would have said I'm firmly, Daemon and Rhaenyra, but now. Rhaenyra's not going to like this move, by the way. She wanted him. She wanted the literal eye for an eye. She wants Aemond, Aemond, and that's it. She doesn't want a fucking baby of another couple basically just slaughtered. So I'm not thinking, I don't think that's going to be a good, when he's like, hey, look who I got. She's going to be like, what the fuck are you thinking, you asshole?
Kevin, even just you saying eye for an eye, talking about Aemond, it's kind of insensitive in itself when you think about it. So, like, you're kind of making us all look bad, man.
Larys pulls the king aside after this nice, like, generous meeting, and he just throws Otto under the bus. He's like, Otto is your dad's hand. I don't think he should be your hand, essentially. Like, he's getting his fucking fingers in a lot of stuff. Be your own man. Be your own king. And then Otto and Alicent meet up. And this gets a bit heated. This is, I feel like, one of those really important scenes later on. We're going to look back. All of the scenes where he's giving her the actual kind of life strategy on what to do wound up being important in season 1. She feels like she's being undermined in front of everyone by him. He's trying to make sure she knows, like, the path to victory is violence. He's like, we have to, like, this is going to get ugly. And there's even a scene later on where Aemond is like kind of like he doesn't respect his mom because she has a little bit of love for the other side. And I think this is Otto kind of like being like, we can't have that. Like, you got to cut it off here. And we're at war.
No half measures. Shout out Mike Ehrmantraut. Like that was, I think, one of my favorite scenes of season 1. One of like the most powerful scenes was when she's still young and Otto's getting banished. And she's basically like, I didn't want this to happen. Like and he's like, you did. You chose wrong. You fucked up, and now I'm gone. And you better either drop to your knees and say, I'm sorry, I love you, or fucking let's get ready for war. And then there's a scene later in season 1 when she does some, sneaky shit, I think sets everyone on fire and all that shit. Otto is like, I didn't know you, what's the Shaq meme? Like, forgive me, I didn't know your game.
Yeah.
So I thought that, like, Alicent was like already well on the path to being like Cersei-esque, I don't fuck around. But yeah, she still kind of seems to have like a little bit of that weakness. And for real, you can't have that. When you got all sorts of kids and brother children and niece, nephew, uncle things, you gotta there is no room for like, well, let's not be too mean.
Yeah, they're psychopaths. Though everyone in the family is like a bigger psychopath than the next person. So that's the other thing, is it's not just your normal family of incestual relationships. They're also psychopaths.
Well, that tends to be with the incest, I think.
People in the South don't agree, but we'll leave it there. Corlys Valerians, their men board an enemy ship. The White Worm is a stowaway on this ship. Kind of forgot about the White Worm in the last 1 year, 7 months, and 23 days as well. But she was a bitch. She was a real bitch. She was feeding information and secrets to Otto last season, a lot of secrets to him. Daemon almost completely blames her for everything that has happened because she set off this chain of events. She claims she doesn't know much about Otto and his plans anymore. He's trying to trade some knowledge for her freedom. And again, he's just yelling at everyone for not killing Aegon when they had the chance. It's like, if you were within 100 feet of him at any point, you are to blame for the war.
Daemon also, for a guy who literally does only what he wants and what serves him, he has some nerve running around telling people, like, why didn't you do this for me? Why didn't you do that for me? It's like, dude, you don't do a fucking thing for anybody else. So I don't know why you expect, that sort of treatment in the first place. I do think it's funny that White Worm, there's like 3 or 4 moments, again, in season 1, where like if one person made a different decision, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, if they made Rhaenys queen, none of this happens. If Sir Criston Cole doesn't talk shit in the square, so then like the bastard stuff is all public, that none of this happens. And again there with what did you just say? It was another example. Oh yeah, the White Worm. If she doesn't tell him where the prince is, like all of this shit just goes away. It all hinges on like the littlest fucking things. But she did him dirty though. I feel like, they had a thing. She should have been a little more loyal. No.
Yeah.
Like just for some money, like at least come back to me and be like, listen, Otto's gonna give me a bag.
You want to give me more? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, at least give me the counter offer.
Give him that option. But you know what? If you go to Daemon with that, he's cutting your head off probably.
Facts.
Or sending you back with no tongue, or he's doing something fucked up.
If he's in hoodie mode, you're done.
Hoodie mode, Daemon is demon time. He gets crazy when he throws the hood on.
Yeah. Remember Hoodie Mello, Kev? Whenever he's like in the gym, like Hoodie Mello next to the championship this year.
You know what? It does actually feel like Hoodie, like Anakin though, when he's got that hood on.
Oh yeah.
It's cooking.
This next sequence, my favorite scene in the episode, this entire next maybe 2 or 3 minutes, Rhaenyra returns. Everyone immediately is just going into their war strategy plans. They're like, all right, nice, the queen is back. We're prepping this for this. The Starks are giving us this, whatever. And she just gets there and she says, I want Aemond Targaryen. It's her only line the whole episode. And she delivers it with
Is that true? That's all she said?
Yeah.
All she said in this episode. It's all she needs to say to have that presence felt. And I even love the extension of going into, is it Jacaerys? I don't know. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but he comes in to tell his mom, hey, we're getting this from the Starks. This is what so-and-so pledged. And he can't even get through it without crying. It's such a great performance.
Yeah.
And she starts weeping, seeing him crying, gives him a big hug. They're crying together. That was incredible. Like the acting on both of their parts, I thought was
Dude, you know what I was thinking? Thrones does child acting better than like any show ever. Every other show that has kids, it's always like either really like laughable or at least like this is the whole. It's the whole in this show. You just got to put up with like some bad child actors. These fucking kids, especially last season, can act. They're all like real good. I wouldn't even call this guy a kid. He's younger, but even when when they were pups, there was a lot of really, really good acting there.
Robbie and I are watching a Star Wars show called The Acolyte, and the child actors on it make us want to crawl. Or I don't know, it's twins. I don't know if it's the same person. I want to crawl out of my skin when I watch it.
I heard Acolyte's like absolutely atrocious. Is it true?
That's a bit extreme, but if you're not a diehard Star Wars fan, you're probably not going to like it at all.
Well, let me tell you something. If you are a diehard Star Wars fan, they're probably making fun of it too, because that's what diehard Star Wars fans do.
Yeah, unfortunately, nobody hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans. Yeah.
The Rotten Tomato score of it is currently lower than the Star Wars Holiday Special.
But that being said, there's a movie that came out in like 2006 called The Acolyte, and that Rotten Tomatoes score has also dropped drastically because people are leaving the wrong reviews.
Ricochet shot.
That's awesome.
There's some actors, producers, and directors like, what the fuck, man?
They're like, fuck, we had it going for so long. People were watching us on streaming. Now they're not.
That's awesome.
Good scene, though. Really good scene.
Oh, but just to go back, I think
go ahead.
Rhaenyra being like so singularly focused on Aemond, like you can't do that. I understand why, but like there's so much bigger at play that like if you were to compromise your battle plans or whatever just to get him, like that will come back to bite you.
Especially if he's like the best soldier in all the the best fighter in all the kingdoms, and has the biggest dragon in all the kingdoms.
Yeah,
you're just gonna have to let that one, sit for a bit, or come up with an actual plan to kill him that isn't, put in the hands of some rat catcher.
Yeah.
I'm still when they have that scene where they're like, we can't send the dragons because like then we'll lose the dragons, and it's like, well, you're at war. Now's the time to use the dragons.
Yeah.
Like I understand what you're saying. Like you can't use them willy nilly, but also, it's like you're keeping Kevin McAllister keeping his rollerblades in the box. You gotta put them on and use them. Wear your sneakers, man. It's like why even have these guys? You got to use them wisely. But if you got Vagar, start fucking shit up. If you got an army of dragons, let's go, baby.
Yeah.
It's almost like nuclear. It's almost like nukes, It's like dragons, like the Cold War, and it's like, oh wait, whoa, we don't use them. We were just like hoping you guys would keep, stay fucking. I guess that worked for hundreds of years because the Targaryens were peaceful for so long. But now it's time to fucking go.
They hold a funeral for Luke, a cliffside funeral, and the way they shot and edited this was cool because while they're burning his body and doing the traditional, I guess, Targaryen funeral, you see Alicent lighting candles in church, and she, at the end, lights one for him. And that was a cool, like, her pulse still, and her morals are being stretched, and she doesn't want to kill kids, but they're in the kid-killing business at this point. It's like, you're killing kids. You got to kill kids now. Daemon takes a boat towards the castle. Great scene with this medieval bouncer, who I guess his name is Blood. We have Blood and Cheese. Cheese being the rat catcher guy, pervert. And he's like, I know the keep better than I know meal and cock. And it's like, all right, pervert. Like, we don't need to hear that from you, Cheese. I don't even want to know what that fucking weird perverted cock looks like. And Blood has a great line, too, where Daemon walks up to him right away, and he's like, I hear you don't like the high towers. He's like, fuck the high tower. So he's almost like, oh, another guy. Yeah, fuck the high tower. So they go in. He gets paid to kill Aemond, obviously. And they have this whole strategy getting in the bowels of the castle. They see Aegon getting drunk, the whole dragon cock scene. And then they put a knife to Helena's throat. They don't listen to the fucking one command. He's got a giant one eye and silver hair. He's hard to miss, they said. And they look at the two baby cradles, and they're like, which one is it? Which one's the boy? And as we talked about a little earlier, they fucking kill a baby. They slice the head off. They saw it off. It's a bad noise. As they're sawing it off, she makes a run for it with the other baby. They don't really give a shit about her. And she just walks into the room where Alicent and Kristen Cole yet again fucking. She says they killed the boy. And that's the end of the episode. Fucking crazy.
The way Cheese has the knife to her throat, and he's like, dude, we need a son, not a girl. And he's like, no, look, like all gleeful and excited.
Yeah.
Like, look what I found. It's like, oh, you motherfucker. And I thought it was going to be a kidnapping or, I don't know, they, throw him out a window or drown him in the water, put a pillow over his face, the winching, slicing, welching. Oh, that was brutal.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
A lot of people are saying they killed the wrong kid in the chat. Is that true? I mean, obviously they killed the wrong
my first
person.
question was it the boy? Did she?
Because I mean, it's hard to tell them apart with their haircuts.
Yeah, and it was such a point of the scene. Like, she points and he's like, oh, it's the old, I know that you know that I know that you know sort of thing. Like, you wouldn't point to your son. So that I went over there, but he's like, no, she did. I don't think that they would do that if it was not at least to make you, maybe consider that.
What a comment in the chat. I'm sorry. It just says not doing a cock check before cutting a head off is wild.
I actually thought we were gonna have another moment of humor where the guy's like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'll chop his fucking head off.
Yeah, I'm not a pervert.
Looking for a baby cock. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That is some comment, man. The show cultivates comments like that. It's
the fact that that's a normal comment.
But yeah,
like,
it's an actual also, good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say you did point at my one defense for our boy Daemon. He said the eye thing, man. Oh shit, I forgot.
Oh, you got the thumbs up there.
He said the eye, and he said he's a good fighter. Yeah. There's no way that guy. Like, how do they forget those two things? They just heard boy and we're like, all right, let's go kill the boy. Like, we sent the two idiots, the biggest idiots.
That is
in
the
King's
thing
Landing.
too. Yeah, like, I guess there's not like amazing hitmen you can hire back then. I mean, it would be like maybe Daemon would be that guy, but it seems like they hired the two dumbest people in all of this show.
It was like a Bebop and Rocksteady sort of situation.
Yes.
They were just buffoons.
Yeah.
It's because he's the people's king. The people don't want to turn on their king. I have to keep reminding you guys this. They don't want to kill his kids, and that's the thing, is he loves that kid too. Like, they really hammered home. He just is letting him ride Lannisters if he wants. He's just dude. As like a parent, I'm like, yo, I hate when my kids do this. I'm just like, stop doing that, and they just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And they like you said, the kid absolutely crushed it. Speaking of crushing, I hate to do this for a guy who I hate so much. Kristen Cole might have to be known as the Queen Slayer because he took down both the girls in this show.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
No, when he's getting slayed, like we talked about.
Yeah.
Like, he is the fucking Worst. Listen, I'll let you like Damon. I'll let you even like Aegon, you sick fuck. If you start to try to come on this goddamn show week to week and you try to defend and befriend Sir Kristen Cole, I'm out on the whole fucking show.
Kev, I just called the guy 15
Clem's
times
like,
in a row. I won't do that.
Sir Kristen, I love you so much. Come on, give me the hearts. Give me the hearts now.
No.
Oh, I love you, Sir Kristen. I love you.
What about you guys? Give me the rock and roll. Give us a rock and roll concert.
Yeah, what is it,
Laser
Tyler?
show in the background. Hell yeah.
The rat
I
looks
can't do it. My
awesome.
computer doesn't do it.
Do it again, Clem. The rat looks so good in the background, in the foreground.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god,
It's a rockin' rat right there.
that's awesome.
That was the season 2 premiere of House of the Dragon, though. I'm so happy we're back. I feel like it both feels like yesterday that we were doing the show, and I was like, we'll be back maybe in 2 years if we're still alive in 2 years. But it also feels like it was like forever ago. So it's nice to be back in the basement with the High Council in the chat. It's a nice way to decompress after you watch some babies getting killed.
8 episode season instead of 10 sucks. I think they said every episode is like around 60 minutes, so it's not even one of those things where they give us like an hour and a half episode to make up for it. They tried to say that was because of like story writing, which never made sense in the first place because you could just make the story work between 8 and 10. So that was definitely like a budget cut sort of thing. So I just hope I almost feel like responsible. I'm like thinking back to season 1 when we were like, yeah, no, it's good. When we should have been like beating the drum, like, yo, Thrones is fucking back. Like it's just as good as those early episodes. So everybody go watch.
People were telling us that's like a prologue. Everyone is saying the real shit starts season 2. The real war starts season 2. You know, after the time jump, which no time jumps this season. No actor changes. Hopefully, we'll get Trent back on. It'll be easier for him to comprehend. And that's not a shot at him. He was just very anti-time jump last season.
Do we have MVPs and LVPs for this episode? I don't remember if we did that last year. Do we have like awards that we do every episode or not?
Honestly, Aegon would be my MVP for this episode. He made me laugh more than anybody. I know I can't believe it, but he really is.
I'm with you.
Because I think
And
everyone
then as
else.
far as LVP,
I mean, blood and cheese definitely. Like they almost take it on their own. If you want to do other than
cheese
those two
for
guys.
kicking the dog,
Bro,
dog.
Cheese.
Blood and Cheese, if I had the time and the skill, somebody should make like a buddy cop remix. You know when they make like scary movies look like funny movies and shit like that? I need a Blood and Cheese combo where they're like, you know, the buddy cops trying to like stumble around to get the job done.
Maybe the dog talks like Scooby.
I would say LVP.
The chat, here in the small council, Michael Coleman said LVP is a dead baby. Didn't get to ride the horse and then died.
You know what? That's a pretty bad stat sheet. That's the Tony Snell 0
0 horses ridden, 0 life. Oh, we're laughing about a dead baby. Good times. Thanks, George R. R. Martin.
Blood and cheese, aim for the bushes. Kevin in the chat. That's great.
Oh my god, that's great. I've been trying to avoid like stuff about the season. I told myself I was going to read the book, and then I don't know, a year and 7 months went by fast.
And then you realize the book's 1,000 pages,
and and the way it's told is like in like a history of it all. It's like very strange.
Right. Yeah, it's like a textbook.
You have to be like really hard.
I've heard the audiobooks are a good can almost bridge the gap. A lot of people say if you just go audiobook, it gets a little easier.
But even that, it's like the description is so everything's so descriptive. Just get to the point.
I saw on the High Council said before too. They said that the murder of the baby is much more given in detail in the book.
That's I've been hearing about Blood and Cheese and like seeing it, then I'll like scroll past something. I didn't hear that. I like have avoided it completely, so I don't know how gory it gets. I'm a little worried.
Blood and Cheese sounds like when that is the dead baby. Like what happens when you kill a baby? It's blood and cheese. Just
I feel even worse about it than I did before now.
I can't believe I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. So I never thought I'd do this on a live stream, let alone tell friends. But how do you fit 1,000 dead babies into a phone booth?
Oh no! How?
You know this one, Kev?
Yeah, I can't remember it though.
With a wood chipper.
Yeah.
How do you get them out of the phone booth?
Oh no, how?
With Tostito scoops. I heard that when I was like pretty young, and I was just like, I couldn't sleep for days after.
Dude, the dead baby joke revolution was a moment in time. I don't know if you were around for it, Bob, but like Anthony
I don't think I
Jeselnik,
was, to be honest.
That
it was
that
just-
and Yo Mama jokes were at the same time, where it was just like, what's the most horrendous shit we could say about your loved ones or kids? And like, yeah, how do you paint a wall? Like, or how do you paint a wall with dead baby? Depends how hard you throw or something. Like crazy shit.
Talk about demonetized.
Yeah.
We might be on
We're gonna pay money to
the
YouTube to get out.
dark
Yeah.
web at this point. We might be dark web exclusive. This is bad. We need to end this show before I let further dead baby jokes go forward. Oh my, even Clem's making dead baby jokes.
I'm a talking rat, Bob. I can say
He's
whatever
wearing
I
an
want.
adorable like arts and crafts project from his wife, the most wholesome guy at Barstool, and then he makes the Tostito Scoops joke. Oh my, yeah, we're
I
not
love
getting
how
them as a
we're acting
sponsor.
like-
Tell you that much.
I was gonna say, I love how we're like demonetizing, like we're losing so much money, and all of our
Bro,
sponsors.
the
are gonna be
money
running
we're
away.
losing during this, you might as well shut the dozen down this week. All right. Thank you to everyone for tuning in this week. I really appreciate it. It's great to be back. And hopefully we'll be back in bigger and better next week.
Love you guys.